look, when it comes to music and NFTs, I think this is still a largely unexplored area. Most of the focus has been on, look, I talked extensively about PFP NFTs, like profile pictures and stuff, but there's also gaming NFTs, which I do think actually is also something to consider, just in-game items and owning those items, trading them, that kind of stuff. So basically where you have digital economies that where you have actual items created by people or found or discovered or whatever it might be that you can then use in-game to increase your status or increase your overall capital or your equity. That's an interesting space as well. But when we're talking about music, I don't think that it's necessarily music NFTs is a very interesting one. I think that who is the artist now? I can't think of their name now. It's completely flown out of my mind. But basically, they released one of their albums. I think they were the first band to release an album as an NFT, which is a pretty big deal. It's Kings of Leon.
Okay.
That's it. It was Kings of Leon. They released the world's, I think that if I'm not mistaken, again, don't take my word for it, do your research and all that stuff. But as far as I know, they were the first band to release their album as an NFT. I know that John Legend is busy working on an NFT music platform. I think it's called Your Song, which is quite a big one. So I think he's a co-founder or co-investor in that. And then pretty much what happens is you'll get different producers or artists who can then upload vibes, which are basically the names of the NFTs, and then they can use that, they can sell that, resell that, they can create value out of that in whatever way they see fit. Whereas if they're helping other artists, if they're catering to existing bands or producers, so there's that. I also know there was there's another DJ named Blau who released a whole bunch of NFTs and made quite a lot of money off of that, from what I understand. So I think really when it comes to NFTs, the concept of releasing your album or your music as an NFT is a pretty interesting one, and I do think that there's value there because again, when it comes to digital art and digital material, I don't really think that when it comes to if we look at the album I produced and released in 2020 with my band, we released that on Bandcamp pretty much as high quality audio, and then we have our music videos. But if we had actually had something that kind of made that experience a little bit more special or a bit different, or it had some kind of niche added value to it, where a few people would gain access to it, and only those people. So they would be the exclusive holders of that particular iteration of our album or whatever it might be, where it might have bonus tracks or extra footage, or it might have some kind of interactive, I don't know, technology thrown on top of that. That would be very interesting because then you're also able to cater to particular music fans who have particular tastes and who want to have exclusive access to particular types of material. So the nice thing with NFTs for artists is that it gives them the chance to create digital properties and digital pieces of art with their music or along with their music that pretty much gives them the capacity to have super fans and to also earn a living in a more sustainable way from a few people rather than a whole bunch of people just listening to it on stream or something like that. So I think fundamentally it's a very, very interesting concept. I think that there'll be different approaches to it, and I still think it's something that's really not particularly well defined at this point. But I think once the right formulas start being found, and the right audiences get reached, I think you'll start to see some very interesting developments in how music changes as well. Because even then, it's like music videos and music, is that the be all and end all of it for people, or does it give what is holding a particular item or an NFT or the album? What does it give you access to? Oh, okay. Well, if you buy this NFT, then the next album release you'll get it before everyone else, regardless of whether you'll get it for free or you'll get it at 50% off, regardless of whether you or do X or Y. So you can also define the parameters of your relationship with your community, and you can have more interaction with them, and you can create a sustainable model where there's this long-term flow and there's this expectation that, okay, well, there's more of this is going to come, and this is the kind of stuff I can expect to see from this artist. So I think that it's going to fundamentally change the way that people approach music and how they create their media. And I think it's going to bring some different talents together as well. And it might be visual artists, it might be film producers. Who knows, really? I think you're going to see some very interesting and cool stuff coming out of this. And you might even find that entire communities start to form around musicians, and just all the different things that content creators can create and bring to the table as well. I just think really what NFTs represent more than anything else is the birth of the digital microeconomy and the proliferation of that, such that people from across the world with similar interests, they're no longer geographic differences, currency differences, all of that stuff, cultural differences are no longer an issue, because you're now able to get together with people from all these disparate places. You have common interests, and you want to build something, and you contribute towards it. And again, if you just get the formula right, and I think that all the different pieces fall into place, you'll start to see some really, really interesting developments in the visual art space, in gaming, and definitely in music as well. So that's pretty much the way I see it. Yeah. Again, it is speculative, but I think it's an inevitability at this point, because existing models, I mean, with the COVID-19 pandemic and the way things have gone for artists, a lot of them can't really make a living off of live music with venues. And I also think streaming services are not particularly profitable for them either. It's like you can get, you can be on Spotify, but are you going to make any money from that? Are you going to get the visibility you need? Whereas if you can position yourself in a niche community, or you can appeal to people on a different platform that are looking for X, and you bring the right product, you can get some really cool stuff going. And then again, you can develop your community and actually have an ongoing relationship with that community where they become involved, and they can even have a say in how things turn out over time, or what kind of stuff would they want your music to be more avant-garde? Would they want it to be more industrial? Do they want it to be more pop driven? They can have their say, and it's like, we would like the next album to be kind of like this album, or we want it to be more like this, or we want you to experiment and like do something completely off the wall. It's very interesting, because it also allows artists to plan their media better, and I think at the end of the day, produce a better quality product for an audience that wants it. So yeah.